and welcome to this week's YouTube, where this week we're talking all things colour blocking. Quite simply put, colour blocking is the use of blocks of colour in your interior design to bring statement and feature to your walls and your accessories. We decided to tackle a tougher shape so that we could make a really good tutorial for you. This was our first time as well, so you may see a few mistakes along the way while we learn the best techniques to teach you. So let's delve in straight off with a prep montage. As usual, you're going to fill, sand, protect the surface before you get started with paint on the walls.
So we've finished the prep work, so now it's all about getting some paint onto the walls. Now this is going to be an office setup for us, so we're opting for a vinyl matte finish. It's a nice flat finish that's really forgiving for bad walls because it's such a dull, no sheen finish. If it was a high traffic area like a kitchen or a hallway, I would have opted for a scrubbable matte finish rather than a standard matte, but as it's just a home office and I shouldn't need to clean the walls very often, that's why we've gone for a vinyl matte. Really good value for money, so that's the best way to go. We've opted for a 2.5 litre because it's a very small room. 2.5 litres got about 35 metres squared coverage in it, so that should be absolutely plenty. And as you can see, I've got an extra little tin here in 1 litre because we're going to do some colour blocking. So we've got a lovely coordinating colour that I'll show you now. So our main wall colour is from our Colour of the Year collection, and it's called Inverted Clouds. It's a really lovely warm taupe shade, so it's not too cold with there being no natural light in here, but it's also not too creamy because, as you can see from Magnolia on the walls, it really felt like a very yellowy room because of no natural light. So we've got the gorgeous Inverted Clouds, and to coordinate with that, we've gone for a really gorgeous earthy tone called Canyon. So, and I'll show you these two next to each other. As you can see, it's like one of those warm rusty orange shades, really warm and perfect for a room that's got no natural light. It's going to help to bring a little bit of nature to the room and bring the outside in.
Give your paint a good stir before starting and then get some colour on the walls. So we are starting right from scratch with this room. You may have already done this step because you're choosing to add some colour block later down the line. And as you can see, this is a gorgeous warm grey tone. We're using our angle cutting brush for some neat cutting in line and our silver stripe roller. It's really important to follow the recoat times on the paint. For our vinyl matte, it's a 2 to 4 hour recoat time. Another tip, we find it easiest to work one wall at a time, cutting in around the edges first before rolling in the centre. This means the cutting in keeps the wet edge long enough to blend well with the roller marks, rather than you ending up with a picture frame effect if your edging dries quicker. So as this is a video for colour block, we're going to jump ahead to that section now, but our walls have had a really good time to dry. It's actually been 4 weeks, and we also got the woodwork painted as well. So first up, it's time to measure up, and we were planning on using this room as an office, so we brought the desk in because we wanted to make our colour block a feature around our desk. We measured the width of the desk, the width of the wall, found the centre point, and worked out just how much larger we wanted the colour block to be than the desk. We used a pencil for marking our spots on the wall, knowing that this would paint over nicely and touch in with the matte paint later on. Once we had got a good feel for where the desk was going to be, how tall our monitor was going to be, we started marking out centre points of the wall so that we could start to get the shape in place. So for the straight edges of the arch, we knew what height we wanted to get to, made a mark on either side of the wall at the right height, and then used a plumb bob to get a straight line to follow, and that's what we followed with our masking tape. To hold the plumb bob in place, we just used a pin, and we did fill these holes later on once we'd removed it. I kept checking the measurements as I went just to make sure I'd remained at the centre point of the wall and my arch was going to remain central. I used a wide blade to follow the plumb bob down the wall to make myself a pencil line, so I found that much easier to match up my masking tape to. So as my paint and base coat had been done around 4 weeks previous, we used the ProDeck Advanced Precision masking tape. We absolutely love this masking tape, but if your walls are freshly painted, you must use a sensitive tape such as the Tessa Pink. When applying the masking tape, I applied it very gently to the wall so that I could keep manoeuvring it to keep it to my straight line. Once I was happy, I then rubbed my hand securely down it to hold it in place and ensure there'd be no bleeding. We also used the masking tape along the skirting board so that we could keep a nice crisp line. So we now have the base of the shape. It was time to tackle the archway. So once again I found the centre point between my two sides and popped the pin in place. I then used the string from my plumb bob line, one piece in the centre point and the other piece towards the edge of my shape. Okay, so archway in place with a couple of extra lines, it was time to paint. Now, if you've seen our previous videos using colour blocking for scalloped walls, you will know I absolutely love the pointed precision brushes. They're perfect for these rounded shapes and getting into those intricate angles, so I really would recommend these. As it's a smaller shape, we just wanted to use a 4-inch roller for this, so we used the Pro Blue ones, which we found really great. They held the paint well but didn't speckle. And don't forget to leave that 2 to 4 hour recoat time before you apply your second coat. Once you've got your 2 coats on, it's time for the exciting part, removing your masking tape. You can do this while your paint is still drying. And add some finishing touches, and the Room of Doom is no more. A gorgeous little office space, making something out of our desk to really draw the eye, make a feature and make this room exciting. Hopefully you found our tutorial useful. If you would like to see some more, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow us on all of our social media channels for more hints, tips and inspiration.